The Kansas City Chiefs took a big loss versus one of their division rivals in the Los Angeles Chargers yesterday. And I know it's game one, but I think the Chiefs may have a problem. A few of them, if I'm being honest. But before we talk about it and break it all down, y'all know you gotta hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, and I'm holding it down on this daily episode. So if y'all tuned in, locked in, and ready to talk some football, let's do it. Hit that like button and subscribe as well. But yesterday, very competitive game, man, versus the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers, to say the least. I think it was a really, really good game. And though the score at 21-27 doesn't say that the Kansas City Chiefs got their tails whipped, I believe that they got their tails whooped. And I think the reason that I'm believing that the Kansas City Chiefs got their tails whooped is because it was a hard-nosed football game. Now, I'm not going out there on a limb and saying that the Kansas City Chiefs won't be able to win football games or make noise throughout this season, but I'm seeing a couple problems. And I think that if the Kansas City Chiefs don't nip this in the bud, if they don't go out there and pay attention to these issues, the Kansas City Chiefs will have a major problem on their hands. We seen that they did a lot of patchwork to their offensive line last season and pretty much won a bunch of close games, games that came down to the final minutes or the final seconds of every game. And that's how they ultimately, moved on and earned themselves a spot in the Super Bowl. But in the Super Bowl, when you have 2 weeks of prep before the actual game, a team can go out there and figure out, if you have a good head coach, they can pick out what your flaws are and really, really hone in through all that allotted time for preparation. And we seen the Kansas City Chiefs get their tails kicked in the Super Bowl. But the reason I'm going out on a limb and saying that they may have a problem is simply because Jim Harbaugh with the Los Angeles Chargers decided it was time to play 1990s football. It was time to play 1980s football. That type of football to where it's going to be hard-nosed defense going back and forth between both teams, and we're going to run the rock. We're going to pound the rock, and we're going to keep running it to free things up for what we wanted to do. You've seen the Los Angeles Chargers play a lot of 12-man personnel. You've seen a lot of motions. You've seen a lot of things under center. You've seen a lot of play action and leaning on that run game with 25 attempts coming from the Los Angeles Chargers yesterday. So for the Kansas City Chiefs and evaluating that team, the first problem that I'm seeing is the running back room. The running back room for the Kansas City Chiefs is just not good enough right now. The second problem, the wide receiver room. It's just not good enough right now. And that includes Travis Kelce. Not even going to hold you to the Kansas City Chiefs. They did not do enough in the wide receiver room. We seen players like Sky Moore not be around anymore. You've seen guys like Rashee Rice have to now mix 6 games. But is he the end all be all? I'm not too sure. And Xavier Worthy just went down with a shoulder injury, and who knows how long that's going to take and how long it's going to take him to get acclimated back into football activities. So I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and I'm saying, hey, this offense, you might have some problems. The defense, I feel like, is good to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily believe you have to have an all-time defense to win in this league right now, but the defense is fine. It's the offense, the running backs. I'm looking at these running backs. I don't know if a duo of Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt is good enough to help the Kansas City Chiefs go out there and reach the Super Bowl again. I definitely don't believe in the wide receiver room. I understand Juju Smith-Schuster is a good wide receiver, but Hollywood Brown is the only explosive wide receiver that they have right now to go out there and stretch the field, but nobody's really going to bite on that, especially because you need time to throw deep passes. You need time. And how do you get that time? By running the football. So it all goes back into the running backs and Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. I know Isaiah Pacheco is going to run very, very hard and he's going to make things tough. But considering the Kansas City Chiefs in their division with the AFC West, you have teams in that division that wants to run the ball. You see the Raiders. I'm not saying the Raiders are gonna go outshine the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Raiders with Pete Carroll, you go get Ashton Genty with the mindset of saying we're gonna run the ball, and that is what Pete Carroll is known for. Then you look at the Los Angeles Chargers last night. We got Omarion Hampton, we have Najee Harris. We're gonna run the football to open up this offense. Then you look at Denver with Sean Payton and Bo Nix and the running backs that they now have over there. They're going to run the football to open this stuff up for their offense and keep Patrick Mahomes and that offense off of the field. And the way that you extend these drives, if you are the Kansas City Chiefs, is being good on first and third down. Obviously, you cannot forget about second down, but the way that you get things going typically, not always, but typically, it's through the run game to then open things up for your offense. We literally watched a 16-play drive for the Kansas City Chiefs end in 3 points. It's not all bad, but it's definitely something to keep your eyes on if you are the Kansas City Chiefs, simply because 16 plays that milked a lot of time off of the clock and only resulting in 3 points is not good enough. It's just not. And I don't want to be an overreactor to just one game, because I believe that you still have to show that love to Patrick Mahomes and you still have to give some credit to Andy Reid. But at the same time, 16 plays resulting in 3 points, it's unacceptable, especially in a game like that versus the Los Angeles Chargers. So again, it's not the end all be all. It is just the first game of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. It is. However, if we are just viewing the problems for the Chiefs, at least right now, the wide receiver room is not good enough. The running back room is not good enough. And Travis Kelce still is good, but it's just not good enough. I look at what the Baltimore Ravens did, and I'm not saying that the Kansas City Chiefs have to simply follow what the Baltimore Ravens have done, but the Kansas City Chiefs should have been looking for their replacement tight end, similar to how the Baltimore Ravens have kind of figured out their replacement tight end with drafting and going to acquire Isaiah Likely to complement the good Mark Andrews. You need that tight end in that tight end room to complement Travis Kelce if you are the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, I don't see it. And it is just one game. Again, we're not going to overreact. But I will say that the Kansas City Chiefs may have a problem if they don't get this thing under control. The offense is not explosive enough. You've seen on the opposing team with the Los Angeles Chargers, you see the running game be potent. And when they want to go out there and now and place in play action, you see guys like Quinn Johnston start to come around. Guys like Lad McConkey come around. Even the old head Keenan Allen start to come back and cook within this Los Angeles Chargers offense, because they have different styles of wide receivers. And when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, there's not much difference in the wide receiver core nor in the tight end room for the Kansas City Chiefs to be really, really effective. I'm still going to allow this whole entire thing to play out, but this is just an early view of what transpired for the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is going to be a good first month to really, really evaluate this Kansas City Chiefs team. I think that you look at them and you say, hey, Pat Mahomes, he was trying to give his team all opportunity, scrambling out of the pocket, trying to pick up first rounds, even trucking the guy, trying to, find guys that's open. But hey, it ain't much separation out there. Guys wasn't really separating out there. So all in all, bro, It is not the end all be all for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we should not overreact. However, they may have a problem if they can't find more explosion from their wide receivers, their tight end, and get good production from the running backs. You need good production from those groups to be successful and hopefully push for another Super Bowl if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. You absolutely need that support. You absolutely need those guys to be much more better, a lot better, if you want another shot at a championship, because the division that they're in, the conference that they're in, they look like they are in a better position. Obviously, guys have to prove it playing Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I know that's what somebody gonna say. Obviously, it's obvious. But this is what we're seeing in week one. The running back room, it has to get better. It has to. The wide receivers, I like Hollywood Brown. I like Juju Smith-Schuster. Not explosive enough. Could things change when Rashee Rice come back? Absolutely. That can be your number one and open things up for the other guys. But you still need some explosion from the wide receiver room. And I understand that Travis Kelce is a future Hall of Famer. I understand that he really like that. I understand. But you also need some differences in that pass catching room from different guys to help change the game for the Kansas City Chiefs. But that is it for me today, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and everything down below. And we're gonna continue to tune up and turn out for football. We back, baby. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always love football, and y'all already know. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure.
This has been a presentation